Thank you for tuning into the channel, and today we'll be making Nepalese dumplings, also most popularly known as momos in Nepal. The secret to a good momo is what we in Nepal call aachar, and basically aachar is some sort of sauce to go with the momos. Here what I'm doing is cutting up tomatoes into small slices, and then I'll be putting that in a little bit of water, not more than like in a cup, depending again how much quantity you are working with. And then I put like couple things of chili, a fresh chili that is, some turmeric, mostly for coloring. It also has antibiotic properties. Again, less than a spoon of cumin powder, as you saw there. Some chili powder. This is totally optional. The chili powder of course works into the hotness of the sauce, but also gives the color that the sauce gets is also from a little bit of chili sauce. So at this point you're almost ready to work with the sauce, but I have figured out that you could, this is totally optional by the way, adding garlic and ginger paste, but you don't have to. In my recent attempts, I actually have done it without the ginger garlic paste, and it turned out pretty good actually. So that, like I said, is optional. Now I put it in the stove to cook or boil for about 10 minutes. When the tomatoes soften, it's ready to go. The next thing you do is, of course, get what we call keema, which is basically minced meat. In this case, chicken. You can also work with mutton or pork or beef if you like, or even turkey. In fact, it's pretty good with turkey. And I am slicing some onions. Try to get the onions chopped into as small of pieces as I can. So I go first, vertical and then horizontal to get it chopped into very small pieces. Again, the idea is that when you steam the momos, which is how you normally cook it, you can feel the crunch of vegetables if it's large chunks of vegetables, and some folks prefer it that way and then others don't. I've actually seen folks that actually put the onion in a blender and blend it, which I'm not a big fan of. So I just go as fine as I can with the onions. Here I'm doing the same thing with cabbage. Again, I'm gonna try to go as small as possible in terms of the slices, or in terms of chopping it down, but again, you don't have to go super fine. This is a great way to get vegetables incorporated into your kids' diet, by the way. And which works out great. So in my household, I actually, when I'm making ingredients for stuffing for the momos, I actually add a lot more vegetable for my kid. I just separate aside some keema, and before I put the spices, I actually just separate out some, and then I put a lot more vegetables for my daughter. So here again, I'm going forward with chopping the vegetables into finer pieces, and then add it to the mix. That right there is coriander, or also called cilantro, depending on where you are. And again, I'm slicing that also into as fine of pieces as I possibly can. But again, it's up to you as to how fine you wanna go with the slicing. The next stop is gonna be your green onion leaves. I actually have seen folks cook with, fix the ingredient without onion, but only using green onion leaves, and I think that works out well as well. In my case, I do both onion as well as green onion leaves. Some of these ingredients also add color to the stuffing, and which is good. Again, the stuffing goes inside the dumpling wrapper, so eventually that the look is hidden anyways. But just it's a way to get veggies into your meal, but also all of these ingredients have their own sort of tests and when they blend in, it gives you that mix of flavor in the dumpling, which again will turn out awesome. So this is a very simple menu, that I feel every one of you should be able to work with. And let me take a quick second to talk about the tomato sauce. Again, that has been boiling for about 10 minutes. And eventually what I will do is I will make sure that I blend that, and that's how it becomes a sauce to go with the momos. Adding a little bit of garlic and ginger paste again. In fact, this is important. A lot of Nepalese meals will include this, but especially for momos, if you can get it crushed fresh, that would be great. But in my case, I'm just using something that's coming right out of a can or a bottle. So that's cumin seeds right there. You can add a little bit of cumin powder. Sorry, I said cumin seeds. Add a little bit of cumin powder. So this is what we call momo masala. Basically, it's a mix of spices. Unfortunately, this may not be an ingredient you may have in the house. So for those of you who are interested to get this, you can actually get it from an Indian store. Of course, you need the salt, and as you can see, I'm not a big fan of measure the ingredients before mixing. I just go by what I feel will work for me, and it almost always does. But I have a technique that I use, and I can share that just in a second here. This is something that I've been experimenting with, where I just get a small cube of butter, and then slice the butter into tiny pieces again, and then just put it into the mix. And the idea is that when you steam, when you start packing those momos or dumpling, when you start creating, stuffing the keema into the wrapper, again the ingredient, the mix into the wrapper, see how that butter gets split apart, and then now it becomes blended into the mix. And what that seems to do is when you steam that butter will melt a little bit, and you won't have butter all over the place, but hopefully almost every single one of your bite is gonna have some buttery melt in it, and that makes it yummy. It's just something that I've been experimenting with. As I talk through this, actually my mouth is watering, and I that right there is a little bit of turmeric, again mostly for color, but also for antibiotic properties. I heated another cube of butter about the same size that I cut earlier. You can also do oil, like canola oil would work great as well. Heat that, and then just pour it into the middle where the turmeric is, and that helps make sure that the smell of turmeric is not overpowering in your ingredient. So now this right here is bonus. I was not planning on keeping this part of the video, because this video is mostly to focus on how to make the actual ingredients and get the ingredients ready, but I am actually ready to wrap the dumplings or wrap the stuffing into what we call the dumpling wrapper. So at this point, let me go back and talk a little bit about the fact that I said I don't like measuring my ingredients, but I still want to know that my stuffing for the momos tastes good. And the way I do that is I just heat up a pan, just put a drop of oil, and then take a spoon of the stuffing that I have ready to go, put it on the pan, literally almost like making a burger. Just put a spoon of it, and then once it's cooked, just give it a try, and add and work with the ingredient as needed. That's really the way I do it. And now that you have the momos wrapped up and it's ready to go on the steamer. And at this point you steam it. I normally steam it for about 12 minutes, and it's ready within 12 minutes. Anything more, your wrapper will start to give up, and meaning that it will get too soft and the ingredient will start falling out. So I've figured out that about 12 minutes is where the wrapper that I use is good, and the stuffing inside really gets cooked well as well. And at this point you're ready to plate it, and the sauce is ready. You just have to blend the sauce, because you have it cooked and ready to go, and then you basically plate that, and this is how it comes out. And it's a delicious looking momo, and you will love every bite of it. Enjoy.